Hello, dear listeners. Sometimes an asteroid flies through space and hits the literary world with a bang. Our next guest, Melani Sanders, has done exactly that. With humor and sass, and I have to tell you, I am a member of the We Do Not Care Club. On this week's episode of You Are What You Read, we are joined by the social media sensation, and she became an author because of it, and her name is Melani Sanders. And her first book, her debut, is called The Official We Do Not Care Club Handbook. Melani is a digital creator, and she is the founder of the We Do Not Care movement. Her viral We Do Not Care reels and posts have captured the humor, heart, and chaos of being a woman. She zeroes in on perimenopause, menopause, midlife, motherhood, marriage, and all the challenges of being a working woman, living a real life. I just adored her, and I know you will too. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Melani Sanders. When you're a little girl, I don't know if you wanted to write a book, if you dreamed of writing a book, but I'd like to know what you read when you were little.
What did I read when I was little? I used to love reading when I was younger. It wasn't until when I got older and start thinking too much. What did I used to read? I used to love Judy Blume.
Yes.
Judy Blume and the Babysitters Club.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
love the Babysitters Club. Was great.
Yes,
She was
yes,
great. She was great. Yeah.
yes. So that was that. In my teenage years, I think I put the book down a little bit.
You did?
Yeah, yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Start
Why'd you
picking
do that?
because I did not care.
You didn't want to read Moby Dick and Walden.
Yeah, no, didn't want to read that.
Okay, so you've got three boys, a
hmm
husband, and you hit the wall. Can
I
you
hit a
tell us? Can you really hit it? You hit the wall. What happened? Can you tell us, the reader, what happened that made you hit the wall?
Yep. So in 2024, I had a hysterectomy, and
Hmm.
my life just it like you said, it hit a wall, and I didn't know that I was gonna hit a wall. I wasn't prepared for this wall.
Hmm.
And I would say about 2 3 months after the hysterectomy, I just went into like a dark space, and I'm like, what in the heck is wrong with me?
Hmm.
And I started to do research and take supplements and things like that, and um soon chat gpt told me I was in perimenopause and that it's a different ailment every day. I would put that into chat gpt, and then finally chat told me, Melanie, you may be in perimenopause. So
So that scared you
that scared the heck out of
because you
me.
were like, "What is that?"
Yeah, and when I had the frozen shoulder was what did it, and I'm like, what is frozen, what my shoulder got to do with a hysterectomy? And that's when I went over to TikTok. I typed that in. I'm telling you, if it
Hmm.
weren't for these computers, I I typed it in. I typed it
Free
in there.
doctor, free doctor.
Free. I'm telling you, forget all these copays and deductibles. I got Chat GPT. But when I put in frozen shoulder on TikTok, women started, different videos started to come up, and I said, golly, I am in perimenopause with frozen shoulder.
Now, the first day that I saw you on Instagram,
hmm
I began to share you with everybody. I said, "Have you seen Melanie? Have you seen her?
hmm
She'll bring it old school and make your day." And so I joined the club pretty early on. Pretty
Okay,
early
so you
on.
so you're an OG.
I'm an OG, but I don't really like clubs, Melanie.
hmm
I don't really want to join any club, but you know what? This is a club we're born into because we're women.
We're women. Yep.
And I think you tap that. I think you bring it. There's a comedian named Joan Rivers, who I know you remember from your
Oh
childhood.
yeah, I remember Joan Rivers.
She was something. And she wrote a book when she had her daughter, which would now be 50 some years ago,
hmm
called Having a Baby Can Be a Scream.
Oh,
That was the title. And
hmm
what it was at that time in the 60s, the books came out that were relevant to the time period, and nobody was writing childbirth books that were funny.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, here we are 50 years later, we do
Yeah,
not care.
we do not care. That's
We
right.
do not care. And you tapped it, but here's what I'm in awe of, because writing comedy is very difficult, but you stay true to your message in everything you write. So this book is filled with lists, quizzes, hilarious departures of this is what you can expect. I loved
Yeah.
excuses. Not that you need one.
Right. Yeah. Not that we need one. My
No,
favorite
I don't need
my
an excuse.
my favorite
Hmm.
page is page 38 and
All right, let me see
39.
if I marked it. Yes, I did. Figure eight Melanie, and then what Melanie used to be and what Melanie is now.
Yeah, yep. Full Melanie and flat Melanie.
It was so fabulous because you just sort of articulated, and you don't have to be a great artist to draw yourself.
Right. But I feel like my drawings are pretty spot on.
Well, they're spot on, but you know what I'm saying. They're stick figures, which is great.
Yeah,
And I love the
yes.
hairdos because you've given us the sparse hair
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that.
Well, that was a full bob on the full Melanie. That was a
That's your
cute.
full bob here.
That's a cute
And
little
then over
bob.
here, it's like we're getting sparse.
Yeah, we're getting sparse over here, and my bubble butt
Hmm.
in that perfect landing strip,
Yes.
and
And
then
then
over,
over here,
things just go downhill. It was just point south. Everything just points south.
Melanie, as the book goes on, you dig deeper and deeper about keeping it together, about doing only good enough work right now. You're going to just you basically say to folks, women, take the pressure off yourself.
Yes.
Now, I wrote some things down as I was reading that I want to share with you.
Okay.
We do not care if you see us. Make me invisible, like you promised. Because there's all this talk out there of women complaining that they're invisible. I'd like
Yeah.
to be invisible, wouldn't
I'm
you?
Heck yeah. Yeah, just leave me alone.
It's what does your husband think about you coming out with all this?
I think he's extremely happy. This is the second leg of the tour this week, and they have him. I look over, I'm, delivering my speech, and he's over there in the audience signing autographs. So yeah, they love Big O. They do. But it's just a whirlwind, for something that started on May 13th, was the day that I did that video,
Hmm.
because I've been doing creation for years now.
Yes.
So May 13th, and then January 13th was the day that the book was released. So that was exactly 8 months.
So, what makes you a creator? Because that's what you call yourself.
Yes.
What makes you a creator is you basically have a belief that you cannot solve your problems alone. You need us all to help you.
Yeah, yeah, it's a sisterhood for sure. And as it relates to the WDNC, this is definitely a sisterhood. And that is, my key messaging is, you are not alone and you are enough.
That's beautiful.
Hmm. Yep.
But the other message, I think there's a part three
Okay, what is
that
it?
you
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 tell
gotta
me.
you gotta laugh.
Yeah, you got to laugh to keep
You
from
gotta
crying.
laugh. You gotta get a kick out of this. Now, I've been amazed at seeing your. It's so exciting to me, Melanie, because I think this is what community really means. And you open this book with, look, I know we disagree with each other or we're whatever, but we've got to pull together here
Yeah.
in a common cause because you're just being yourself, which I think is the fourth message of this book.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I said. You are enough. Like, look, I was in my car, a hot mess, telling the world that my bra was too little, not giving a crap who said what, and that was enough. That was enough to start a movement.
The idea of the movement, I'm trying to get to like where it began in you. I mean, where does it come from?
I don't know. I think it just comes from within. To be honest with you, I've never been associated, like you said. You don't like clubs. I'm like that too. You know how so joining sororities and all that kind of stuff and different. I don't want to join nothing. Just I'm invisible. But I call this movement the accidental movement because this is not what I planned to do. when I hit record that day, I thought I asked women, I was just thinking like, dang, I wonder do anybody else feel the way that I feel, just like over it at capacity. And
Mhm,
I
mhm.
just, I said, let me just hit record and just ask. And when I did, I thought maybe 20 or 30 people, join me or whatever. We do our little club.
Yeah.
I did not know, I was gaining hundreds of thousands of followers per day per platform.
It's a well, that's because everybody, including me, shared it. And we
Yes,
said
yes, yes,
that's what did it, is that everybody participated because we were laughing and we were
yes,
being thoroughly entertained by our misery.
yes, yes. The relatability, right?
Now, Melanie, in your family, like, did your mother tell you the truth about men? Did anybody talk to you about your body when you were growing up?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I knew about a cycle, period, but that was pretty much it.
Well, I
The
told a lot
pl-
of folks already that they handed us a little pink book in the seventh grade or sixth grade, seventh,
uh-huh.
seventh.
You remember the
And I don't,
color?
it was a pink book. And I
Okay.
think it was used to sell feminine hygiene products, but it told you about your period. And I remember, because when I read your book, I made notes about this. I remember it said, you will experience the cessation of the period around the age of 50. And I went, oh, I did the math. And I went, what? That's like 40, 50 years away,
Mm-hmm.
Brett,
Mm-hmm.
40 years. I'm going to have this every month for 40 years.
I know.
Like
Yeah,
that.
you're excited to get it in the beginning. I know I was excited.
You were, I wasn't.
I
Mm-mm.
was, well, just for that first month, and after that it was like, oh no, oh no.
I see. I think it was good you were excited because then you knew what you were losing and gaining there. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You
yeah,
were becoming a young woman.
yeah. Well, within the book I share, I had a really traumatic time with my cycle when I was younger.
Hmm.
So that was, and I lost an ovary. That I shared that in there, and
Hmm.
yeah, periods to me were. I actually think I blocked a lot of my childhood out because of my cycle.
And because it was painful.
Yeah, it was extremely painful, and I had to have several surgeries. And by the time I was 13, I got my cycle at 11, and by the
Hmm.
time I had turned 13, finally a doctor heard me because, at that age when you're 11 and you're complaining about a heavy, your
Hmm.
cycle and the cramping and all of that, it's like, well, she's just not used to the pain, kind of thing. And
Right.
it's like, no, this is something different. Like, but luckily, my mom, she kept taking me to doctors and didn't give up. And by that third or fourth doctor, she did an exploratory surgery, and my 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 ovary had died. I think it's called a torsion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was like a big blockage of blood, but and it was like, and the doctor said, that pain, because I think I was having my cycle when I was having the surgery, and so they were able to, like, they did studies and stuff on me. Um, it was comparable to labor pains. And it's crazy because when I had my first son, although I did have a cesarean with him, I labored for almost 24 hours. It hurt, but it wasn't anything I wasn't familiar with. But the fact that I experienced that at the age of 11, 12, and 13 is like, what, And
Wow.
yeah. So, and I said I don't even talk about that much. And I did mention it in the book, but I think I'm going to start talking about that a little bit more because I think I just blocked it out of my mind. Someone brought it up to me yesterday in an interview, and she said, Melanie, I think this is why your avocation is so, you really, really want to be that voice for the voiceless, because, that was
Hmm.
hard. That was
Oh my
hard.
gosh, what a terrible thing for a young woman to go through. And
11.
at the age of 11, a girl, little girl,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And of course, you're also faced with, when you heard this news, probably, will I ever have a child? Will I ever have a future in that regard? Will I have a family? Isn't it, thank goodness you were the age you were then in the 1990s, that
Yeah.
it wasn't the dark ages,
Yeah.
because you had options. in
Yeah.
terms of medical care, which I sense in you is going to be another advocacy area for you, is the medical rights of women. And the thing, you're talking about your experience, and that every woman you meet has a story, which is why I think we all got behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
laughing, but there was truth in it. There was just
Yeah.
truth in it.
And that's something that, I tell my teams and everything that I do. Inclusiveness is so important because we all have a story, and I want to hear, like with my sisters, I want to hear from everybody. Let's all, we're not just going to talk about my dry coochie, we're going to talk about all the dry coochies. So, I have a saying in the book, and I say this often:
Uh-huh.
if our sister has dry coochie, then we all have dry coochie. Her
So
story is our story.
now I love the "We Do Not Care" club song, because I feel like every club needs a song. You need an anthem. You need an
Yeah.
alma mater if you're a school.
Yes.
But this is just it's just we've earned these stripes. We fought this fight. We're queens of change. We ignite the light. No apologies. We live full and wild. We're warriors strong with a rebel smile.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, one of our club members made that song for me, and I just cried when I heard it.
It's really great. Now, of course, no wonderful book presents a dilemma without trying to solve it on some level. Can you talk about the balancing act edition? Because I think the balancing act is sort of the next frontier for the We Do Not Care Club. You know,
Hmm.
it could be okay. It could be it's on page 123. It can be things like we do not care about cleaning behind the stove and refrigerator. We do not
Yeah,
use behind them. I mean, which is hilarious.
but isn't it so true though?
It is. And how about deliveries? Just leave it. I don't
Yeah.
need to say hello. I don't got to know you, right?
Right. Yes. 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 And if the car is dirty, rainy season will be here at some point. We do not care to make small talk. Just shut up and don't say anything.
How about we do not care if it's an emergency? Do not leave a message. Send a text.
I'm telling you, because I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to read that text before I listen to a message.
So you had to go on this big tour. And one of the things that you mentioned was we don't care if we overpack for the trip. We don't know what our temperature will be internally. We need options. So
That's
when
right.
you packed for this trip, how many suitcases?
It's so funny because on the first round of the trip, I packed a whole bunch of stuff, and it had those little travel cubes and stuff. This time around, I just made sure I had a whole bunch of underwear and panty liners, and I have a different jeans and t-shirts. That's it. My merch, the shirts.
I see the merch shirts. You're on TV wearing them, and they're fantastic.
Yes, that is that. I was, how and this is all new to me, and I'm like, what is my look, and I said, Melanie, you're not about to go out here overthinking this thing. Wear what you would normally wear: a t-shirt and some jeans.
And you're quite beautiful, and everything about you is like a ray of light. And I love just watching you at these signings and how you do it. And I think you've reinvented things in a way that's really fun. And the women are so excited to see you. And I see some men in the audience too. But
Yes.
typically, yeah, you got a few out there. That's which is good. You also are a champion for women at midlife and what we are capable of. As the book unspools, there's some wonderful, you did some studies, you did some work. Women in midlife are performing at a high level despite major health challenges. I
Yes.
always say a man could never get through menopause.
Never, never, never. And yes, and within this book, I say this is Melanie completely. Like there's going to be this humor, there's going to be this, this serious part, there's going to be the tears, and we're going to have some type of, not necessarily solution, but maybe a mindset shift. of
Mhm.
we are going to this second act, we are going to live and we are going to put the world on notice that we simply just do not care much anymore.
Now, your children, what are their ages? You have 3 boys, right?
Yes, I have a 24-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a
Mhm.
16-year-old. I'm trying to get the 16-year-old, he's a sophomore in high school. I'm trying to get him skipped. I don't know if they skip kids anymore, but I'm over it. Like I love my
You want that
babies.
you want that empty nest?
I'm ready for that empty nest. I'm ready, but I love them and I want to be able to travel with them and stuff. But I don't want to think like he asked me to help him with homework. I'm not a, I can't, baby. I'm in perimenopause. I'm fighting for my life over here. Go ask Chat GPT.
Okay. The right care helps propel women at make or break moments in their career. That's a very interesting thing. You're telling us go get help because we're the biggest group in the United States and we are not being attended to properly.
Mm-mm. Nope, but we are, as this tonight will be, I just landed in Houston. Tonight will be 4 or 5, my sixth night. And I can feel it brewing. We are about to really start tapping in to the companies. We have to be recognized and bring awareness to the workplace on what we're going
Mhm.
through. And it's not an excuse or anything like that. You don't have to feel sorry for us, anything like that. But you will know that this is a different mode now. We're totally different, and we can still outperform any man out there, at any point in
Mhm,
life.
mhm,
But
mhm.
we need certain things to be recognized, and for companies to really hear us.
You also say tell your workplace leadership, share it with them that menopause care is a catalyst for healthy behaviors and big savings.
Yeah, yeah.
Now tell us how these companies can save with
Well,
use women in menopause on their team.
well, first of all, I mean, with saving, we wouldn't have so many days off probably, and you have happier employees if you're recognized. This point in life, in midlife, have you experienced any hot flashes before?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had a few.
It's you know it,
By the
it
way, I don't think they leave you. I
yeah.
think I still you could be just sitting somewhere and suddenly heat up like
Yeah,
an oven.
have you ever seen that it went viral. The lady, she was sitting there, she has a bald head,
Yes.
and she was sitting like in a stand, and literally you could see it. And I love that visual. I love that visual. This is how we feel. This is how we feel. And we're going to take off, at this point. And we're going to be we're there. We're there. That's
It
all I
makes
can
me
say.
so excited because when you and I were coming up, they didn't talk about it.
Mm-mm, nope,
There
nope,
no
nope.
all those talk shows on TV, nobody ever did the menopause show. They didn't do it.
Do you think that many people knew though that this is what it was and just
Well,
didn't
I
talk
think
about
just
it?
like it if I made my mom tell me when she was going through it and I asked her those health questions and I think that's one of the great things about the movement that you created is that we're going to start asking our mothers and our grandmothers what their experience was. But no, it was not mentioned. But you have to remember too, Melanie, like for our moms, grandmothers, great grandmothers, they disappeared at 50.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, not
yeah.
in our lives. In our lives, they became bigger. But now it looks like folks are just getting started.
Just getting started. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. I love it. We're gonna talk about it, bring awareness to this, and it's not a handicap. It's not a handicap. It's like,
No.
no, this is what is happening to our bodies, and also the amount of treatment that we are now starting to understand more about. I did start HRTs. I started the estrogen patch, and
Hmm.
that was a game changer for me. That definitely was a game changer.
Hmm.
And many, because of that black box label, many, especially in the black community, it's like when we hear, cancer and all of that, it's like, no, 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 no,
Hmm.
we're not touching that. But to just know that women suffer for so long and this stuff isn't even accurate.
Mhm. Yeah, yes, and that's in the book too. There's almost a primer here for what your options are to help you with these symptoms.
Yes.
There was like 30 years that HRTs were like,
Yeah,
"Don't
you
do it."
know, yeah.
My mom did it. My mom did them.
She did? Oh, well,
Yes,
that's
she did,
good.
and my mother was very youthful till she died. I mean, she really was,
Yes.
but it really alleviated her symptoms. But,
Yeah.
it can be helpful, and you're gently suggesting to folks is go to your doctor and explore
Yes,
these
yes.
options. Just
Exactly.
try them.
And do what and you just have to do the research for yourself. You can't listen to everyone. You got to listen to your body, and because HRTs aren't for everyone. I think
Mhm.
many supplements and stuff are good too, just depending on your symptoms and severity. But talk to your doctor, and yeah, just get the help, but don't sit silent. Don't sit
Well, they
silent.
just really never talked about the hormonal component of our bodies to us. They really
Mhm.
didn't.
Yeah, not at
It's not
all.
discussed. Yeah, and I don't know why, like, our mothers and grandmothers didn't readily discuss this with us. I think sometimes it's that they don't want us, maybe they think it's not gonna be as bad for you as it was for me.
But I just really think that they didn't know. It can be a whole generation that was just
That's
silent.
interesting that
I
they
think
just didn't know.
I just think they just didn't know, and that's the part, when have you ever had any down days, any like days? Some days I wake up and I'm mad
Of
before
course,
I
of
wake
course.
up mad. It's like, Melanie, why are you mad, girl? You just open your eyes, and I'm pissed off.
And
And
or you could have a cloud comes over you in the middle of the day,
yet in the
and
middle
you
of the
go,
day,
"Why's that coming? Where'd that come from?" Well,
yes.
you're right, Mel, that's your hormones.
Yeah, that is, and it does this right here, and the one thing I do want to say too is, after my hysterectomy, I went to a hormone specialist, and he recommended that I either get my blood work redone or go back to my primary physician because my labs were normal. But guess what? They were normal that day, and then probably right when I left out of there, did that right there. But the fact that you're a hormonal specialist and you say this, that ain't good.
That ain't good and that ain't helpful.
That's not. I have not addressed him yet. I asked my sisters when as I'm on this tour, I said, well, what do y'all think I should say to him? Because I even emailed him afterwards. And I said, hey, I'm Melanie Sanders. I came in, my husband and I checked off everything on the list besides heavy bleeding. And that's because I had a hysterectomy and I don't bleed anymore.
Mhm.
And I want to be sure that I didn't miss anything. In your diagnosis or your what do you call it? It's a big word that I just can't get. It's not coming into my head right now.
Okay.
But whatever it is, like this is what you recommended for me. And like I said, it was to either get my blood work redone because everything was normal, or go back to my primary. He doubled down on it. And I got it in writing, but I would never, ever, ever speak on a doctor or use anyone's name.
No,
But
you have some great doctors in this book though,
oh yeah,
like Dr. Tracy Baxley.
that's one of my girlfriends. I love her. I love her. I
I
love her.
think she's fantastic, and she
Yes.
made great points about human need in her essay in the book.
Wasn't it good?
I just thought it was magnificent, you know.
She has 5 kids. I met her and she was so calm. We were at a track practice, I think. No, a track meet with our sons. And
Mhm.
her son, who recently graduated from Harvard, and my son graduated from University of Miami. But we were sitting out there, and she has 5 kids, and she was so calm. And I'm trying to figure out, how in the heck are you this calm with 5 kids and everybody running around? But I
Mhm.
loved her demeanor, and we've remained friends. And she had to be in this book. She had to.
She just had to. You also wrote about me time being non-negotiable. That for a mother of 3 sons and a wife of a husband for it's gotta be 25 years,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we'll be long enough to have a 24-year-old. Yes, but we've been married. We'll be married 20 years February. But yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
But
long.
you've been together 25, 26 years. But for you, I wonder how much I wonder how much this particular goal that me time is non-negotiable came into play because you had three boys and you didn't have a daughter?
Hmm. Good question. Good question.
What do you think?
You know, I think that there is some validity to that because my husband, he took over with the boys, doing
Hmm.
things, and yeah, it's only so much wrestling I'm gonna do. But yeah, and also that emotional, that instinctive woman, thing. Yeah, it was only me, and I got a boy dog too.
And see, I'm going to tell you, whenever any of my friends that are mothers of sons, they never get good gifts. So I always try to give them something a girl would give a girl because they don't get those presents.
Yes.
You have to almost go pick your own stuff out, but that's okay. Now, can you tell me about Lakeisha Lawrence or
Yes.
Lakeisha? How does she
Lakeisha.
say it?
Yeah,
Lakeisha,
well, we call her Keisha. That's my bestie. Yeah,
Keish.
she was actually my moderator for my Miami um tour. Just been my bestie for forever, and she says it in there where we were in ninth grade, and she walked into class with some bright red lipstick on, and I didn't know her, but I pulled her to the side. I
That's
said,
my friend.
it's not gonna work. This not gonna work. We got to go to Eckert. Remember Eckert and
Yeah,
Drug
sure, sure,
Emporium.
sure.
We got to go to one of them stores and get some and calm this down a little bit.
Sisters, my prayer is that we never lose sight of our beauty. That's from your bestie Keish right there.
Hmm.
Sisters, my prayer is that we never lose sight of our beauty. And she adds strength and worth and even the changes we face. See, she sees positivity in all of it.
Yeah, she's the positive side of me. Her and my husband, and then I balance out the other side.
I love that. Now, the movement is in full force.
Full
The
force.
army is formed. The crowds are gathering. The books are being signed and sold. It is a big moment for you, of which I am so thrilled because Melanie, you deserve it. You took this idea and you crafted it into a worldwide movement of which we are all a part. And you say things to us in this book that a best friend would say. And I loved you are not alone and you are enough. And that kind of is emblematic of where the movement will go because what you're going to continue to do is empower women, but there's something else exciting happening here is you're preparing the young women for what's ahead.
Yes, there have been on the tour so far several young girls, and they said, "I'm coming. I'm coming with my mom," or and even a few guys. I thought it was the cutest thing. A guy, it was maybe two or three guys, but one guy in particular, he came and he had his mom on FaceTime. He said she couldn't make it, but she told me I better be here. Yes, but yes, this next generation, no excuses, because we putting it all out there, and we are prepping y'all. We are letting you know, baby, this is what midlife looks like, and it's okay, and it can be a beautiful thing, very confusing at times, very isolating, but if you have that mindset of knowing what this looks like, and what sisterhood looks like, you'll be just fine.
You're going to be just fine and you're not alone.
You are not
Well,
alone.
we do care about you, Melanie, and we're so proud and so thrilled that you started the We Do Not Care Club. This is a keeper. And I also like the fact that the book, the size of it is handbag friendly because I
Yeah.
carried it all over the place. I could put this in a crossbody bag and I enjoyed every word of it. And I think it's beautifully written and it's fun and it's shareable and it's the go to gift for my friends in midlife. And I can't thank you enough for coming on. You are what you read.
Thank you so much, and this was an extreme honor to be here. I
Well, it's
just
an
love
honor.
you.
I love you, and it's an honor to have you here. And I can't wait to meet you in real life. So next time you're in New York, you come over and I'm making you dinner.
Absolutely.